Guys, I broke my light. I literally stepped on it. My mom helped me glue it, so I have to be super careful. I'm scared. I don't want to fuck it up. Okay. We are wearing my God Bless Your Dad's Genetics shirt in honor of Man's best friend coming out. Guys, I'm so in love with it. I actually don't have a drink today. Let's just get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my booktube channel. Today's video is finally gonna be my August wrap up. August has been a very long month, and like I told you guys in last week's video, and honestly in the week before that, this is going to be a very sad wrap up. I did not read very many books in August. I actually forgot one of them. I need to go grab it. Yeah, I did not have a good reading month, but like I said in last week's video, I had a lot going on in August, so I feel like that's an excuse. And also, sometimes things just happen. You don't get to read as much as you had hoped, and that's what happened to me this month. But anyway, we are going to talk about the books that I did read and all of my thoughts and feelings and ratings and recommendations and all that yada yada. First, we're going to go through the books that I didn't read from my TBR. My fiance picked out my TBR for August, and I'm sorry to disappoint him, but I did not do well. He knew that I wasn't going to do well because of how much I had going on. The first book that I chose for myself that I wanted to read this month was Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. I didn't read it, but I do have Love Arranged. It's gorgeous. I also did not read Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I feel like my camera's dirty. Are we dirty? Is that better? I don't know if that did anything. I did not read this book this month. I just didn't want to. I have no excuse. Same with Wild Side and Addicted After All. Like I said, I was out of town for the majority of the month. Not gonna lie. I was out of town for like 2 weeks. So I just didn't have these books with me. And then by the time I got back, I wasn't in the mood for them. Actually, I need to go get them. 1 second. Flow was on my TBR, and I actually did start it. I'm on chapter 4. It's literally 100 pages, like a little over 100 pages, and I still didn't finish it. In reality, I could finish this in one sitting. I just didn't. I don't know what it was about the story, but it just didn't grab me right away. And now on to the books that I did read that I can actually talk to you guys about. So the first book that I attempted to read in August, this was actually a late July into August book, and that was Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. I actually DNF'd this book, so no rating because I didn't finish it. Maybe eventually when I'm ready to read Unloved, which is the next book in the series, I will go back and retry with this book. But there was just something about it. It just felt like the characters didn't know all that much about each other, and yet they were just weirdly attached to it. Everything felt like it moved very quickly. It felt like from 1 second they didn't know anything about each other, and then the next second they were inseparable and were constantly thinking about. They kissed very early on. It was barely even 100 pages into the book. I think it was 60 pages into the book, and they had kissed for the first. I don't know. For me, it just felt like this book moved very fast, and it felt a little insta-lovey. I don't know. A lot of people love this book, so again, I'm willing to give it another try when I find myself more in the mood for something like this, but I just didn't like it. This book follows Sadie and Reese, and it gets compared a lot to Binding and Keeping in the sense that it's compared to Johnny and Shannon, where it's the guy who's been injured and he's going through a lot mentally, and the girl who has a hard home life, and that's it. That's where the similarities begin and end, because these two are nothing like Johnny and Shannon. First of all, they're in college and they're in high school. The dynamic is completely different. Basically, the overall premise of this story is that Sadie takes care of her two younger brothers, I believe it is, because she does have a very hard home life, and she also tackles school and is a figure skater. So she has a lot going on at home and finds solace in Reese. He brings her some sort of calm and peace. And Reese, on the other hand, is a hockey player who was injured and now feels nothing. He barely wants to skate anymore. He can't look at hockey and feel the same way he felt about hockey before he got injured. So he's kind of feeling nothing, and Sadie kind of brings out feeling in him. So it's a good premise. And like I said, Sadie goes through a lot at home, and I was really waiting for Reese to find out what was going on with her home life. I got like, I got 200 pages in. I got like a little over halfway, and I was like, I feel like we're going nowhere. Like, I feel like there was so much back and forth between the two of them. Nothing was really happening. I don't know. Like, I felt like this book moved really quickly. I wasn't feeling it at all. So I DNF'd it because I wasn't enjoying it. I would read a chapter, put it down, read another few pages, put it down. I literally stopped in the middle of a chapter. Like, I just didn't want to read it. Like, I would find myself struggling to pick this book up and then just put it down and like not like, so I just stopped. I stopped because life is too short to read books you're not enjoying. Like I said, I am still going to read the rest of the series because I'm a lot more interested in the rest of the series. And it had nothing to do with the writing. It was the characters, truly. It was just like the way the characters were written and the dynamic between the two of them that I wasn't personally a fan of. It had nothing to do with the writing or the plot itself or anything like that. I actually really liked the plot point and like the, you know, the girl who feels too much and the guy who's not feeling anything. I liked that dynamic. It was just the two of them specifically that kind of annoyed me. But I am still going to read Unloved, and I think it's Unbound is the other two. I'm not sure if the series is going to go on longer than that, but I know there's going to be another one. Unloved is already out, and I'm really excited for that one. So I am still going to read that, even though I'm DNFing this one. And like I said, when I'm ready to read Unloved, maybe I'll go back and try this book. But it just didn't do it for me for right now. So it's a DNF. It's a medium DNF. Like, it's not a hard DNF to where I'm never picking this book back up again because I hate it that much. But it's also not like a soft DNF to where like, oh, I'm going to pick this book up again next month to see if I'm in the mood. No, when I get to it, I'll get to it. When I feel like reading Unloved, maybe I'll go back and read this. But that also may not happen. I may just skip and go to Unloved. That's the first one. Unsteady, I DNF'd it, so no stars. But that's the premise of it. Like, I read enough to know the premise. So there you go. But still give this book a try because so many people love this book. Next up, we have... I'm so happy with this one. Next, I read Face Off by Chelsea Curto. This is the first book in the DC Stars series. Guys, I'm in love with this series. I'm currently reading Power Play. It's somewhere on my bed. I'm currently reading Power Play, which is the second book in this series. This is going to be like a 7-book series, and I'm so excited for it. I think I'm going to binge the rest of the series, even though it's not on my TBR. I think I'm going to finish Power Play and immediately go into Slapshot and Hat Trick because I'm so in love with this series. This book specifically follows Maverick and Emmy, and they are both in the NHL. They play for the DC Stars. Emmy is like the first woman to ever be on an NHL team. She only plays with men. She's the only woman in the league, which is so fucking cool. My girl Emmy is a baddie. I love her. This book is like reformed playboy. It's a little bit of golden retriever, black cat energy. She does not want to give this man the time of day, and he does not give up. He is so pathetic. I loved it. This book was 4.5 stars. I loved it so much. It's dual POV. Like I said, it's hockey romance, so you get so much found family. The DC Stars are some of the, God, other than Windy City, I would say that this is probably the best like sports romance found family that I've ever read. I love Off Campus, but this might beat Off Campus. I love the Stars. They are fantastic, all of them, and they're all getting books. All the starters are getting books. So this book is Maverick and Emmy. The second book is Piper and Liam. Liam's the goalie. Oh my God. Then Slapshot is Hudson. Hudson's a defenseman. I'm so excited for the rest of the series. Like I said, it's Reforms Playboy, Black Cat Golden Retriever, a little bit of Friends with Benefits. One of those like, I can't stop thinking about her, so we should just like do it one time and get it out of our systems, and that doesn't work. I loved this book so much. The only thing that made it not a 5-star was the ending. The ending low-key upset me. I was like, what? I was so pissed. I was so pissed. Oh my God, the ending really upset me, but the entire plot made up for it. Maverick was so down bad for my girl Emmy. He was so pathetically obsessed with her and didn't even care. He was one of those like secret good guy, but not even a secret. Everyone knew that he was a really good guy. It was just her because she heard so much about him and how he was a playboy and all of this, that she was just like, I'm gonna steer clear of this guy. He did not give up. He was just like, I want her to like me. I'm going to get her to like me. He was so in love. I loved this book. And like I said, the found family in this is amazing. Everyone was so there for Emmy. There's one big scene where everyone rallied around Emmy because of something that happened to her in her past. Oh my God. The stars were amazing. Maverick was everything in that scene. Please read this book so you know what I'm talking about. It happens during a game. I just love how there they were for Emmy. There's text messages in this book too. I loved it. I loved it so much. There's text messages between Maverick and Emmy, and then there's text messages between Emmy and her girlfriends, and then there's text messages between Maverick and the team. There's one big group chat where Emmy was added into like all of the players group. Oh my God, it was everything. I loved it. They just love Emmy so much. Like everyone so quickly was just like, you are one of us. We got your back no matter what. They were so ride or die for each other. And I love it so much. I will eat up a found family every time. It makes me genuinely so emotional, found family books. I love this series because of how strong the found family is. It is fantastic. Please go read DC Stars. I loved it. 4.5 stars for Face Off. This book was phenomenal. Like I said, I'm reading Power Play right now, and I'm so excited to read the rest of the series. Next up, if you follow me on TikTok, which you should, if you don't, I talked about this book quite a bit on my TikTok. Next book I read was Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings. This book, I don't even really want to talk about it that much because the story isn't over. There's going to be a part 2 to these characters, so I don't want to tell you too much other than it follows Isolde and Joa. It's based in London in the 90s. Joa is like this big rock star. He's the frontman of one of the most notorious bands at this time. And Isolde is like the it girl supermodel of her time right now. The two of them meet, and this book is insta love. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This book is insta love, but I feel like if there's anyone that knows how to write one of the most hated tropes and make it good, it's Jessa Hastings, because the insta love in this book was so apparent, but it also did not upset me in the slightest. Because of these characters, the dynamic between the two of them and them separately as characters, it just kind of worked in a way. It just kind of worked. Like Isolde is, like I said, she's like the it girl of her time. So she has been in the spotlight for quite some time. She knows how to like present herself and how to conduct herself. Joa, on the other hand, is like the reckless, impulsive. He's definitely the playboy. Isolde is, she's not a saint, but she's also like a lot more careful and cautious. And the two of them meet and they have this like very quick but very strong like love. And it's so intense, especially like I said, the way that Jessa Hastings writes, you just can't help but feel what they feel for each other, no matter how fast it happened. So that's why, like, part of me really felt stupid for DNFing this book because I was just like, this book felt insta-lovey, but this book is insta-love. So, like, how did I like this and not like this? I guess it's just, like, a feeling. It just did it. This book was 5 stars. I gave this book 5 stars. I was really trying to mull over my rating for this book for so long because I was just like, the ending so terribly upset me. This book was so frustrating. I don't want you to get it wrong thinking that this is one of the only Jessa Hastings books that's like an actual cutesy book. No, these fuckers were toxic as hell. Joa and Isolde were toxic as hell. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this book specifically when part 2 comes out, which is another reason why I was trying to mull over my rating in my head, because I was just like, their story's not over yet. So like, do I really like how their story started? No, but also yes, because this book made me feel so many things. Oh my God. If you want a book that's going to frustrate you because of how, oh, now the sun wants to come out. If you want a book to frustrate you because of how toxic the couple is, but also the story is just so addictive that you can't help but like just get sucked right into it, then read this. But also, maybe don't read this just yet because we don't have a second part, and there is going to be a second part to Isolde and Joa. Do with that information what you will. Read the story if you want to read the story. I highly recommend it because it was really good. If you like that like toxic back and forth, I trust him but I don't trust him, I'm in love with her but I don't like how the person I am when I'm in love with her, like the reformed playboy, not reformed, the playboy, and like the self-sabotage, like he self-sabotages. She's just like, you know, they both have so many flaws. That's something that Jessa Hastings does so well. And I think I saw her say this recently, where it's just like, it's not as fun for her to write a perfect couple. Like, where's the fun in that? She thrives on the toxicity. And you know what? I do too. This book, it was short. It's literally like 300 pages, which is very short for a Jessa Hastings book, but it makes sense that there's going to be a part 2. This book was so good. This book was so good. Like I said, he self-sabotages and ruins it with her. She just nails in the fucking coffin. Like, you are not going to walk all over me. I'm not your fucking doormat. Isolde was the best part of this book for me. She was such a fucking badass. And she's only like 20. She was a fucking baddie. The way she would literally show to this man, not even just tell him, show him, you are not going to treat me like I am nothing. You see my face every single time you walk out of this fucking house, and you think you're gonna treat me like shit? I loved her. She was such a fucking queen. She was just like, I know my worth. Joa really pissed me off, I'm not gonna lie. I love Joa, but I hate him. Long story short is, if you want a book where you hate the characters, but you love them, you love to hate them, and you thrive on toxicity, read this book. It was 5 stars for me. Like I said, I tried to mull it over so many times in my head, but then I realized, I was like, who the fuck am I kidding? Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings. Like I said, I don't know when the next book is going to be out. Who really knows when anything by Jessa Hastings is ever going to be out? But moving on. The final book I read this month in August was Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. This is the first book in the Viper series, the Viper trilogy. It's only going to be 3 books, so I'm just going to call it a trilogy. This book specifically follows Kane and Dahlia, and it is hockey dark romance. This is like the first, at least to my knowledge, this is the first kind of sports romancy book that Rena Kent has ever written. Like I said, I'm not sure because she has a whole universe. This book is the start of like a new side to her Renaverse, but she has a whole other side that's like complete and began and ended and all of that. I don't know if any of that is sports romance because I've only read Legacy of Gods and Kiss the Villain. I don't think any of it is hockey though. I don't think any of it is sports, but this one is. This book, like I said, follows Kane and Dahlia. How do I want to word this? This is like dark sports suspense romance. Like, not suspense, but there is like an overall mystery going on in this book. I think this was the perfect book to start the series. Like I said, there is going to be 2 more, Sweet Venom and Tempting Venom. I'm so excited for the next 2. This book for me was 4 stars. I like immersively read this. No, I didn't. I lied. I immersively read Time of Your Life. So I highly recommend the audiobook, mainly because Joa's accent is so fucking thick. He's from Manchester, so his like terms and slang is all over the fucking place. So I highly recommend the audiobook for this. It is duet narration. So yeah. Anyway, I did not immersively read this. I fucking lied to you. I would recommend the audiobook. I recommend the audiobook for anything, even if I haven't read it, because I'm pretty sure I've heard a lot of good things about this audiobook because this is also duet narration. But anyway, Dahlia ends up going to this school specifically because of the hockey team. Something happened to her sister and she uncovered some information and is now using that information to get close to this hockey team so that she can figure out what happened to her sister, because she thinks someone on that hockey team is responsible. So Dahlia's like, oh, Kane seems like, you know, the one that's most level-headed. He seems nice based on his like outward persona. He's not nice. He's like the exact opposite of nice. He's so fucking rude. He's so fucking rude. But she didn't care. She didn't care at all, because from the very beginning, he like had some sort of soft spot for her, and you find out why later on. But this book was 4 stars. I actually really loved this, and I was so happy that I loved it because, as you guys know, Kiss the Villain really disappointed me. It felt way too copy and paste to Legacy of Gods. This actually felt like something new, and I'm so happy about that. If I had to compare any of these characters to characters that I read before, I would say Kane is most similar. If you want like any sort of indicator to whether you would like this book or not, I would say that Kane is kind of a mix of Jeremy Volkov and Brandon King. Kane has this persona because of stuff that he went through as a kid. Like he has trauma. So that's why he has this like front-facing personality. But he also is not like quick to jump to violence, just like Jeremy. Jeremy is like, he'll kill people, but like not unless he absolutely has to. You know what I mean? So I would say he's most like the two of them put together, which is what I liked about Cain. I felt like so many of Rena Kent's MMCs just had like certain mental disorders that made them these like broody, rude, like narcissistic men. Cain didn't have that. Cain did not have that at all. He was just like, I'm the way I am because of shit that's happened to me, and I've gone through a lot of shit. So that's why I am the way I am. And Dahlia like broke down his walls so much. He still had like a very rough exterior, but for her, he was so fucking soft, and I loved it. Dahlia was also the baddest fucking bitch. If I had to compare her to anyone, I would say she was like Mia Sokolov, Nikolai's sister. They're not exactly the same. Very rough similarities if you want any sort of like vibe or comparison between characters. Not to say that Mia is exactly like Dahlia, Dahlia is exactly like Mia. Not saying that at all. Not saying that Cain is exactly like Jeremy and Brandon, but there are like very slight similarities between them. But yeah, Dahlia was just like, she was a fighter, which I loved. So many of Rena Kent's FMCs felt like doormats, and I love that Dahlia wasn't. She was just like, I'm determined to complete my mission, and you are not gonna fucking get in my way. She put up a fight, and I loved her. I loved her so much because of everything that she had gone through in her life. She would always choose fight rather than flight, and I loved her for that. She was such a fucking queen, and they worked so well together. Cain and Dahlia were just so compatible in every sense of the word. They were compatible in, you know, a spicy sense. They were compatible just like personality wise. Oh my, it just worked. I can't even like fully explain it. They just worked. I loved this book so much. I will say it is dark. It's pretty dark. There's like a secret society and everything going on. So this book can get kind of crazy. Make sure you search up your trigger warnings because, you know, not to be taken with a grain of salt. But like, look at them. They're so cute. And in this book, you meet Violet, who is Dahlia's sister, and Jude, who is Cain's teammate. They are Sweet Venom. And then you also meet Preston and Marcus. And they are Tempting Venom. I'm most excited for Marcus and Preston. Preston was like psychotic, and I ate his shit up. He was so funny. I loved Preston. I'm so excited. Sweet Venom is going to be like Grumpy Sunshine. Tempting Venom is going to be so enemies to lovers because Marcus and Preston hate each other. But yeah, this book was so good. 4 stars. I'm not like obsessed with it, don't get me wrong. I have a feeling one of the books in this series will be 5 stars for me, but I wasn't obsessed with it. It was a good start to the series. It gave a great foundation to the future couples. This book was like the perfect start to the series. I'm interested to see the specific plot points of the rest of the books, if they're gonna have more plot or if they're gonna be more character based. This book was very plot based because of everything that was going on with Dahlia and how her and Cain were kind of connected. So I'm interested to see how the other books in the series are gonna be. But I'm so excited. Sweet Venom comes out, I think, in December. I will be sad for that book. And I think Tempting Venom comes out sometime next year. And I will be sad for that book as well. But anyway, that's it. That's it. DNF'd 1, read 3 out of 8 books I had on my TBR total. These were the books that I read, kind of. And then, yeah. I will say, though, even though we didn't read a lot, we had more successes than failures. I would say I absolutely loved every single book that I actually completed this month. So I would say that's a win. That's a win. But yeah, that was all the books I read in August. Somehow I read 3 books total and I still managed to yap for 40 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will do better in September. I swear to you, September will be better. And I'm gonna make more of an effort to actually read from my TBR, even though I literally told you I'm gonna deviate from my TBR for like 2 books. It's gonna be my birthday month. I'm allowed to do what I want. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you love them, if you hate them, whatever you want. And I will see you guys in my next video. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing day or night or afternoon or whatever time of day it is where you are. It's literally 5 p.m. and I have not eaten yet. I'm gonna go eat. Bye.